Hello, this is Malorian. This is the Orc Tactical Team, and what we want to talk about today is the Orc Magic and the new book coming up here. So, in the current book, things they're not bad. No spells are super stellar. I mean, maybe the Wasp spell is, but the nice thing is that we have nice low casting uh, numbers for it to get these things off. So, looking ahead for what to go with, again, they're the same things before. We have our big Wa and our little Wa. And when you look at the big Wa, it has kind of one of those standard benefits, kind of like how all the other standard lores have. And for it, if you have more units in combat that are orcs, as opposed to ones that are fleeing, you get an extra strength to all the spells. So that can be pretty big. Uh, their spells range from everything from being doing the whole line and everybody takes a hit from there. You got sniper spells, you got these teleport spells. And by teleport spell, I mean you pick a unit. There's two different levels to it where you can move them two different ranges, but basically you take one model from a unit, you move them to there and build the unit around them. So it's kind of like the Hand of Gork before, except now you can't charge with it. But the big thing is all of a sudden it's like, well, damn, how do I get to the bunker behind them? Well, all of a sudden, you got this whole unit behind their line. So you got sniper spells, you got teleportation spells, you got the Foot of Gork, which now has actually like a foot template, and that thing, I mean, it's going to be killing tons of stuff on a 2+. I mean, this template's going to be hitting, God, I don't know, easily 15 guys. And so you're just going to be wiping out huge things. So all the orc spells are very, very powerful. And the nice thing is a lot of the casting values are still fairly low. Even when you're looking at some of the charged up versions, like let's say for Headbutt, if you're doing the charged up version so that you can have a range of 8d6, I mean, even that's just needing a 12 to cast, which is pretty easy for a level 4. And the nice thing now is, if you had that orc unit that's in combat, it's strength 5, ignores armor, and now it does D3 wounds as opposed to before. So, fantastic spell. When you get to the Little Wa, its little benefit is that every single time you get a spell off on a 5+, you steal a dice from your opponent. So his dispel dice also becomes your power dice going forward. So the way that kind of works is that when you cast something, they're really kind of wondering what they should do to stop it, because they're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, because either you spend the dice to try and stop it and you lose dice, or you don't use dice on it, and then the spell goes off and you might lose a dice. So it's just that type of a thing. Going through their spells are a lot more supportive. They do have one that does like 3d6 strength 3 hits, but a lot of other things are kind of to give something poison attacks. They have a nice little thing where you pick an enemy unit and they decrease their movement by d6. They have another one which is kind of interesting. It gives a unit armor piercing, and then you get to reroll the hits if you're on a flank or rear. But I mean, the orcs have one where units within a huge range, everybody gets to reroll the hit. Their big spell is kind of like the whole big purple sun thing, except it works on a random stat. So that thing's kind of more fun than anything else. And when I really look at this, it really seems that all the game-winning spells, the really major ones where when I get this spell off, it makes a huge difference in the game. It's all in the orc section. So I'm really thinking that when you're making your list, you're going to want to have this level 4 orc, just to make sure that you have all those spells to pick from. Make sure they go off, blah blah blah. You're going to want to make sure that your main caster is an orc caster. Apart from that, you always want more than one caster. And so when it comes to your support caster at that point, then I'd say, all right, go with the Night Goblin type one. And the reason for that is because then you still have a few of those nice support spells to have when you need it. And the nice thing is that, like I said before, you can start with that support spell, and at the time they're thinking, okay, well, this is just a support, the big one's coming, but they know if I let this go off, he might just steal a dice from me anyway, which will make it harder for me to stop that Foot of Gork or whatever comes later. So, it's really going to try and put the pressure on, and I think it's going to be really great. One of the things you're going to have to be kind of watching for, though, is that your black orcs, you're still going to need them to try and shut down the animosity, just in case. It's not going to be as big of a deal depending how you have them situated. If you have, especially that level 4 orc, if you have him in the front lines. And now here's a nice build I like. If you give him that shrunken head, put him inside a savage orc unit. So all of a sudden, he's toughness 5. He's going to have a great boosted ward save. So even if on the animosity chart he's forced to charge, you're fine with that, right? You can go in there and do a bunch of fighting. Actually, one of the orc spells as well is one where your shaman can get +3 strength, +3 attacks. So that could even be great for you getting into combat. Your support one, still leave him back in the bunker, and I was kind of touching on and then kind of went on a tangent about black orcs. The thing is I don't know if you're going to really need that black orc to keep them in line anymore, because if it does turn out that that one turn per game, with a 1 in 6 chance that your bunker gets hurt by animosity and your one support caster doesn't get to cast, well, he's just your support. Meanwhile, that one orc caster, which is your main one in the front, he's only getting shut down if you roll a double 1. So I think all of a sudden now you don't need to babysit your characters anymore. Some of the things that are going to be also changing with our magic is, we don't have our spirit totem anymore. The extra dice from there. We don't have our staff and sneaky stealing. So one of the best ways we're going to be having for trying to dispel other spells is making sure that you have that level 4 as always. So I've heard some things where it might be better to fight animosity with several level 2s. But I just would rather have this level 4 powerful one. And as well too, if you want to put the shrunken head on something, you want to make sure that guy's not going to die, because he's supporting that entire unit. If he dies, all their ward saves go back to a 6+. So you want to make sure that guy doesn't die. So you might as well be on a guy that has an extra toughness and an extra wound. So I think again that's going to be the best way to go. Level 4 orc for your main caster, level 2 goblin for your support. So that's the main thing I want to say for now. It should be lots of fun when the book comes out, and we'll talk to you then. Bye.